Do not confuse talent with valuable. Do not even confuse production with valuable. Now, in most instances, if you're talented, you're valuable. And if you're productive, you're valuable. But not all the time. A Lamborghini, if it was a person, would be very, very talented. But I couldn't even get my kids in the car grocery bags. You know, if it was a tight little Porsche Lamborghini. Don't confuse the two. Kawhi Leonard's talented, and he's productive. Everybody's talking about him this morning being the second best player in the NBA to Kevin Durant. He's not that valuable. Toronto was 17-5 when he didn't play. He doesn't communicate. He doesn't pass. He doesn't elevate others. LeBron James leaves a franchise, and they disintegrate the next day. Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, Miami. Awful, great, awful. Twice in Cleveland. Finals. Oh, we're awful. LeBron gets hurt with the Lakers. At the end of the year, they were the worst team in the league. They were losing to teams like Phoenix and New York that were tanking. LeBron's great, talented, productive, and bizarrely valuable. Kawhi is just really talented. And damn, he's productive. How valuable is he? Toronto made the playoffs last year. Toronto was the number one seed last year. Toronto last year in the regular season was 58-24. And then Kawhi came, and they were 59-23 and 17-5 when he didn't play this year. He's just talented. He reminds me of the running back Adrian Peterson. They have these weird, unique similarities. Both their hands are a topic. Kawhi's got abnormally large hands. Adrian Peterson has a legendarily almost violent handshake. They're both strong for their size. They're both awe-inspiring. And neither makes their team necessarily much better. Vikings got better when Adrian Peterson left. And by the way, San Antonio, they're in the playoffs again. It should be noted both have one flaw. Adrian Peterson could never catch. Kawhi Leonard doesn't pass. The guy in these playoffs that's actually talented, productive, and valuable is the guy for Denver, the Joker, Jokic. Folks, he's a center. They run their offense through him. Denver is the youngest playoff team in my life I think I've ever seen in the second round. He leads them in everything. He leads them in points, rebounds, assists. They give him the ball late, top of the key, down low. He has 3 times the assists of Kawhi Leonard and double almost the rebounds. They're both very good players in points and field goal percentage. Jokic elevates every Denver Nugget. Denver should have no business being in the playoffs with this roster. It's a bunch of guys. Is Denver historically relevant? This is a bunch of kids. They're going to be great if they can get one more player. Denver's going to be good for 10 years. They're all kids. Toronto's good always, with Kawhi, without Kawhi. People are confusing this. I don't think Kawhi is a wildly valuable player because I think he's the NBA's silent assassin. He comes to your job. Nobody really knows him. He doesn't talk with anybody. He hits his targets. He leaves and, frankly, would rather work alone and does his best work alone. The assassin is simply that. Working by himself. In San Antonio, there used to be this criticism about him. They asked Greg Popovich once, what was the best advice you could give Kawhi Leonard? Do you remember what he said? Popovich said that when I call a play for Kawhi, I'm actually calling a play for the Spurs. Kawhi doesn't communicate. Of course he's not a great passer because passing's communicating on the floor. It's playing well with others. He doesn't. He just arrives, hits his targets, works alone, leaves the building. Anybody really know Kawhi? No, he never talked. The silent assassin never talks either. It's against his job description. Better served working alone. I'm not denying Kawhi is great. Toronto was great without him. They'll be fine with him. They didn't win a title without him, but they were good. They won't win the championship without him, but they're good. And the kid in Denver he doesn't have an NBA body. We don't know much about him. He didn't play college basketball here. And Denver's not a historically relevant, it's a football city. You could argue it's a hockey city and a baseball city third. But that guy, if you take him out of Denver, Portland's winning these games, blowouts, 4-for-4, and the series is over. He may take this bunch of kids to the Western Conference Finals. He's an incredible talent. And I'll say this about Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson may have been just a better, harder runner than Ezekiel Elliott of the Cowboys. But Zeke, when he leaves the Cowboys for a 3-game stretch, they can't get first downs. The Vikings were better without Adrian Peterson because Zeke can catch. Zeke can run. Zeke can block. Adrian Peterson left the Vikings. They got better. Zeke takes 2 weeks off. The team can't function with the best offensive line in football. The Cowboys can't function without Zeke. Don't confuse talent and valuable. Ezekiel Elliott is both. Peterson was just talented. And that's what I think about Kawhi Leonard. The kid in Denver is an unbelievable talent. And he makes everybody on the Nuggets better. Let me shift to this. Philadelphia. Philadelphia fans are like all fans. When they're right, they rush to Twitter. When they're wrong, it's crickets. So Joel Embiid has wild swings. He's great. He's awful. He's amazing. He's hurt. He's healthy. He's not. And whenever he's great, Philadelphia meatballs run to their Twitter accounts. Told you, man, face of the franchise. Of course, they didn't run to the thing yesterday because he was awful. But here's my takeaway on Joel Embiid. If you're somebody at work, and we've all worked with somebody like this, that has a temper, that has outbursts, a little bit of a screamer and a yeller, that's his reputation because he's shown it before. Now, he can be funny like Alec Baldwin, but Alec Baldwin in an airport, even when he's smiling and handsome and funny and glib with TMZ, you know he's this close to popping. Same with Christian Bale. That's their reality, even in the times they're not yelling and strangling a TMZ reporter at the airport. Joel Embiid's reality, good or bad game, is he didn't play for 2 years because he was hurt. And he needs 6 treatments a game because he's always hurt. And he's got a bad diet, and he's always hurt. Did I mention he's always hurt? And he missed 14 of the last 24 games. Did I mention he gets hurt a lot? He's a liability to the franchise. I don't care that he played terrible yesterday. Just like I don't care that he played great the previous game. Yesterday wasn't even his worst game in this series. He is a high-maintenance, noisy guy. I don't care what his games are. I don't rush to Twitter for validation when he's bad. I could have spent all day yesterday on Embiid crushing him on Twitter. I didn't. I talked about Jokic, and nobody cares. Embiid's reality, like the guy with a temper at work, doesn't mean he always has a temper. Doesn't mean he's always yelling at cameramen. Doesn't mean he's always picking fights with his bosses. But we all know it's right below the surface, and so you walk on eggshells around him. It doesn't matter that Embiid was terrible yesterday or great the game before. If you build your franchise around him, this is what you get. He's calling his coach in the morning, I may not play. He's hurt. He's sick. They want him to lose weight. He needs a nutritionist. He's just too damn noisy for me. So you go ahead and build this Sixer team around Embiid and Butler. But I'll tell you, I'll take Simmons because Simmons may be quiet and he can't shoot. And right now he's flawed, but he's quiet. I don't get a lot of noise and social media and talking and calling his coach at 3 a.m. Don't rush to Twitter every time he drops 32 and looks great. And I'll promise you, I won't rush to Twitter when he's as awful as he was yesterday. And that wasn't even his worst game in this series. Embiid is a fragile, inconsistent, wildly popular big man, even during his great stretches. 6 treatments per day to get on the floor, IV at 6 a.m, 63% of games in Philly he's missed, an incredibly likable social star. But folks, bad back, bad diet, not always a great teammate. You can keep rushing to Twitter to confirm it. You want to build around that guy? You got choices in Philadelphia. I'm going to take the quiet guy. I'm going to take the guy who's one of the greatest passing young players, Ben Simmons, I've ever seen. He's not refined. He's not a polished product. He's not as good as Embiid now. But I don't get all the inconsistency. I don't get, and by the way, Embiid and Simmons can't play together. So you're going to have to choose one at some point. But it's just this constant up, down, noise, back, diet, hurt. It's too much. Just because, by the way, here was the headline before this series, before the Sixers-Raptors series. Here's the guy that everybody loves. Here's the guy that's missed 63% of games. Here's the guy that didn't play for his first 2 years. Here was the headline. Embiid wants to play more, but knee tendonitis will last all playoffs. That's what it's going to be for the next 8 years. So whether Alec Baldwin attacks the TMZ guy at the airport, we all know it's in him because he's done it a bunch. Just because he's not doing it now doesn't mean Alec wouldn't do it. It's who he is. He's got a temper. He pops. I mean, we know who Embiid is. Why are we arguing about it? Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.